Hi, and there was a short request to talk about to go through this bridge in the village. Um, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, why don't I just go through all of Fred's articles because he's just such a good um, he's such a good writer. Well, I mean, okay, I can't go through this improving 2/1 game force part 1, 2, and 3 because it's just it's just wrong. I mean, I'm sorry. It's mostly about one major two no trump would be a natural balanced game force, and nobody does it anymore. Or I don't think that a lot of people actually adopted it. And pretty sure Fred. I don't know if Fred is even playing actively these days. I think not, but I don't think Fred would actually do it. So there's really no point in going through these articles. But there are then three left, one, two, and three, and I'm just gonna do them now and then upload them, in a scheduled way. I hope this is not cheating, but I'm not uploading less. I'm just recording in chunks. Also, Happy New Year. Actually, this should be January 2nd. I think that this is uploaded, but who's counting? Okay, so Bridge in the Village. I think this is kind of a funny story, but we will find out. The story is based on a prisoner, 1967 British television series. I have no idea what that is, but I'm not gonna look it up. Oh, and now you can see my BB dollars, but yeah, it's just always updating whenever it always just charges me $20, but not the main point. Sherry Weinstock is the Fred's wife, I think. So last thing he remembered the gas, the night he had resigned his executive position with the World Bridge Federation. Fed up with bureaucracy and corruption, he was at his apartment packing some important files and preparing to start a new life. As he was about to leave, his apartment began to fill up with gas. The drug worked quickly. As his consciousness faded, he knew that he would never they would never let him quit. He woke south. He was in a large room with a single card table in the middle. Spotlights and cameras were everywhere. His partner was a man he had never seen before. His left-hand opponent was a midget dressed in a butler suit. His right-hand opponent was not human. It looked like a large white balloon, perhaps 6 feet in diameter. The balloon shape was shifting and it was emitting unpleasant gurgling noises. I don't know why I find this so funny. The way he's setting this up. You'll have to excuse Rover. He's excited as we almost never have a fourth for bridge. Where am I? In the village bridge club. Who are you? The new number two. Who is number one? You are number six. I am not a number. I'm a free man. Everyone seemed to think this was very funny. Slightly bewildered, number six noticed that the bridge hand had been dealt to him. Apparently, the auction had already begun, as each of the other players had the card from the bidding box at the table. The butler on his left had dealt. It was his turn to bid. Number six looked around the table for the opponent's convention card. There was none to be found. What do you want? Information? You won't get any. Whose side are you on? That would be telling. Number six was certainly not going to let his antagonistic partner play the hand, so doubling was out. So I guess 3 no trump, yeah. He tried 3 no trump, the butler passed, and his partner raised the 6 no trump. Robo doubled, number 6 passed, and the butler also doubled. uh, Number 2 quickly waived any penalty that this inadmissible double might have brought forth with a prompt redouble. Getting into the spirit of village bridge, number 6 also redoubled and all passed. Okay, and this hand is really good. It's a good question for bidding problems. What do you do with a 4-4-4-1? I guess you have to pass, but yeah. Maybe 4 diamonds is for both majors, but probably not 4-4. Anyway, it was a disappointment to say the least. Number 6 was furious. By hook or by crook, he would make this hand, but there was some serious work to do. He won the lead in hand and decided to assume that the 2 diamond opening had been a weak to a bit. To begin with, 4 club tricks would be necessary. This would be possible only if Rover held a singleton jack. Number 6 tried the queen, covered by the king and ace. Rover followed by the jack, giving the contract some hope. Okay, so now you have, let's say, 4 heart tricks, although I don't know. Let's say 4 heart tricks. 4 club tricks are 8, and then, yeah, 3 is 11. And the defense hasn't set up 2 tricks yet. The main problem will be that if West is indeed 6-4 in the minors, then you will have some like hearts will not often break 3-2, and if they do, then you will have problems in spades. The queen of hearts was cashed, the proper distribution in that suit. Yeah. So the butler started with 2-1-6-4. I'm wondering. Because you're not gonna. So you have to do some kind of squeeze without a count, but what exactly, like. So now you're down to 10 tricks. 3 spades, 3 hearts, and 4 clubs. That's 10. Well, let's just Jack 10 doubleton or the 7x doubleton. Of course, 7x is much more likely than Jack 10. There are 4 x's, right? No, yeah, 4. 3, 4, 5. They're all. In 7x, you do by running the 9 and then running the 8. There are 3 7x doubleton and only 1 Jack 10 doubleton. Number 6 played the 9 from dummy, covered, and 1 in the closed hand. 8 was covered by the 9 and 1 with the 10 as Rover discarded the diamond. 8 was covered, and when number 6 won, then the butler followed with a 7. So now you're up to 11 again, but it's still not enough. Somehow you want to put East on under pressure. East has 4, 4, 4, 1 in that order, right? 4, 4, 4, 1, and it's a stiff club. And the East doesn't stop spades. Nobody stops spades anymore, but East does stop hearts, and I was gonna say East can be squeezed out of the diamonds, but it doesn't really help. Should be a show-up squeeze against East somehow, but I don't see the exact entries for that, but maybe it somehow works out. Number 6 cashed the 6 of spades. As the butler discarded another diamond. Number 5 was played, covered by the 6 and 1 with the 7. Rover pitching a diamond. Queen of spade would take care of his heart loser, but he would still need to guess the diamonds as both opponents had double. There was a little clue as to the location of the missing diamond orders. Then he saw the light. It's somehow you're gonna have a show up squeeze, but I don't exactly know. You pitched the club, yes, and now on this club, Rover was squeezed, and Rover must pitch the next to last diamond. So Rover now has 2 hearts and 2 diamonds, and Rover definitely cannot spare a heart, so must spare the next to last diamond. And now if you play a diamond, then you will just see what East has. So it's kind of a show-off squeeze. A show-off squeeze. Um, Sometimes it's actually a legitimate technique. Like you can cash some queen doubleton offside or so, because you know that it is not onside, so it must be offside. And sometimes it actually spares you a guess, or it spares you the, like, at least it's psychological problems, because you will see the card being played. So sometimes it actually isn't technically a win; it's just a probabilistic win somehow. If I say, you could always have taken the finance, you could have taken the right guess here, but you didn't need to by dint of this show-up squeeze. He was home, um, but he was not home. He was in the village. Proceeded to take his ace of diamonds and lay down another queen of diamonds. Two down. Short of the number two. Welcome to the village. Okay. You know what? Let's just go through this. The the rest of his videos in this one. The rest of his articles in this one video, and then I'll just figure something out for the next year. Um, okay, there's this expert errors. Let's go for that one. Most bridge articles are about brilliant plays or plays by brilliant players. Believe it or not, these brilliant players also make their fair share of terrible bits and plays. The article presents three bridge problems, one each concerning bidding, play, and defense. These problems all come from the 92 Fall Nationals in Orlando. In each case, a famous player made a horrible error. I will try to analyze how such good players can play so badly. I think I've read this several times, and one of them was something about underleading an honor or something. Yeah, sorry, just. So, yeah, let's try to go through this. You're one of Canada's top players. You're playing the finals of the Live Master pairs. You open 1 no trump in first seat, 11-14. I happen to think that this is a terrible bid, but yeah. Let's suppose that this is what you decide to do. Lefty doubles, penalty, and partner bids 2 clubs, showing clubs and hearts. Right hand opponent skips the bidding all the way to 6 diamonds. Your 10 seconds are up. What is your bid? Yeah, and I think he's gonna say you should pass, because it's just a little ridiculous otherwise. Because you did say you have 11-14, so then there's just no way you can be confident that 7 clubs is a good save, or what. This is not a problem. Do not even think about bidding 7 clubs. The famous player holding this hand did so. Partner had nothing, and the result was minus 700. 6 diamonds was called, but so was 6 spades. Defending 6 diamonds would be slightly below average. Bidding 7 clubs was good for a complete 0. Although this result should not be too surprising, it had little to do with why you should pass. This is an example of the main sources of expert error, the breaking of partnership discipline. Your 1 no trump opening was a deliberate distortion of your hand. This sort of tactical action is acceptable at pairs, and you only have, as you have only your partner to answer to. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay. I mean, who cares if it's pairs or imps? If you think it's right, then you should do it. I'm really not sure that it's right, because you have a minimum hand with clubs, and you can describe it pretty cheaply by 1 club, 2 clubs. But with like 15 to 17, it's like very, very common at all levels to just open 1 no trump on 6 of a minor. It does not matter whether 7 goes for 1700 or 1100. If you make bids like this, because it could be right, or because you felt like it, and break discipline in the process, your partnership is doomed. Your partner will not trust you. He will not enjoy playing with you. and unless your table presence is as good as Zia's, he also has his share of silly results. Your results will be terrible. Yeah. 2. Defense. It's a life master pairs again. You and your partner are one of the top players in the history of bridge. Nobody's vulnerable, and you are East. Okay, so it's us. Your right-hand opponent opens one on trump. 11 to 14, you double for penalties. Lefty passes, righty alerts this pass and explains it is forcing a redouble. Either for penalties or to show one suited hand, partner passes and right-hand opponent redoubles. You and left-hand opponent pass. So South has some strongish hand or some 10 count or so. Wanted to play one on trump redoubled. Partner passes and yeah, you and left-hand opponent pass and partner has 2 clubs, yes. Doubled by right-hand opponent and you run to 2 hearts. Left-hand opponent bids 2 spades, ending the auction. So lefty showed some values and some, I don't know, 5 spades or so. Partner is the 3 of hearts and the 9 forces the ace. Okay. Cashes the top diamonds. Discarding a heart, so declarer has 5 spades and 1 diamond only. Then his 3rd diamond is dropped by declarer and the jack is passed to your queen. And I think this was the hand where maybe it's just ace of clubs and East was trying to put partner on lead with a low heart to get the club rough. Yeah, I'm sorry because I just remember, yeah. Cast a top heart. Yeah, that's the point. So it was ace of clubs and then East I think played a low heart even though you're not quite sure if partner still has a spade. The great player holding this hand made another expert error, trying to get in the daily bulletin instead of counting to 13. Cast the ace of clubs, play the low heart for partner to rough. Partner will know to give you a club rough, and the ace of spades will provide a certain trick, billiard defense. Here's a complete deal. Partner did not have a trump left, and your brilliant play resulted in declare making an overtrick. Minus 110 would have been below the average. Minus 140 was a 0. Yes, partner and left-hand opponents bid their hands poorly and declare probably misplayed the hand. But the brilliant defense was truly horrible. Yeah, you know that partner is either 1156 or 2155. If partner is 1156, more likely his partner ran to 2 clubs, not 2 diamonds. The underlead in hearts is disastrous. If partner has 2155, the underlead is not necessary. Your partner is a very good player. He's supposed to to be able to count a hand 2 after catching the ace of clubs, lead the top heart. If partner has a trump left, he will have no trouble roughing your trick and giving you a club rough. Let your partner get in the daily bulletin. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, this is actually something that people should pay more attention to, counting the hand. I often forget about this kind of stuff, like, oh, maybe my partner's out of trumps. And 4 hearts, spade is led. Okay. So is it about something to do with the queen of spades? Something like that? You wanna lose a diamond and a diamond and 2 spades. So you wanna play ace queen of spades or so. Take the ace of spades, ace queen of ace queen of diamonds. Many of the experts who saw this problem in Orlando went down. The reason was the most common source of expert error playing too quickly. A novice might make the mistake of using the heart ace to take a diamond finesse. They would make the contract whenever right hand opponent have the king. An easy improvement is to draw 2 rounds of trumps, play the ace and the queen of diamonds. This looks so obvious that many experts stop thinking at this point. A good habit to get into before embarking on any line of play is to ask yourself what could go wrong. The answer is not too difficult. On the above layout, left-hand opponent will win the king and play another diamond. Yeah, so you can just play the queen first. I somehow thought that they can force me to take the entry. Actually, I was thinking about this, but no, yeah, of course this is just better. And of course, if they duck, then it's yeah, that's the thing. You only draw 1 round of trump, not two. That is pretty cool. And I don't know if this makes me an expert that made an expert error or some intermediate player or what. But I definitely uh, yeah, here you can just take one more round of trump before you do this, but whatever. Always maintain partnership discipline. Try to be sensible, not brilliant. Take your time and ask yourself what could go wrong. Yeah, fair enough. And then finally, 1994, Toronto, Calcutta. Following conversation occurred early in '93 at the Regal, whatever, Bridge Club. The conversation was between Irving Litvak and John Gowdy. Irving Litvak is the proprietor of the Regal and is responsible for organizing the Canadian Invitational Pairs every year. John Gowdy, well-known local bridge player and philosopher, had just finished playing in the Canadian Invitational Pairs. Okay. I must say, Irving, you did a first-class job for organizing the event. If it wasn't for a poor play of my partner, Fred Gittel, I would have really enjoyed the weekend. I think there is something wrong with the form of scoring, however. I'm glad you enjoyed playing, John. We really go out of our way to make the event attractive for local players. I'm pleased we succeeded in your case. I don't understand what could possibly be wrong with the scoring system. Imp pair scoring is used in all of the big invitational pairs events, from the Sunday Times Invitational in London to the Cavendish Pairs in New York. The ACBL now has a nationally rated imp pairs event, and more regionals are adding imp pairs to their schedules. Yeah, no, actually, yeah, imp pairs is not so good. It's kind of semi well known, but in some ways, imp pairs is just like match points. Yes, you compare your result with all the pairs that hold your cards. In match points, each such comparison, the result in either 0, 1 half, or 1 match point for both sides. Top on the board is the number of pairs that play any given hand -1. I mean, yeah, usually you multiply by 2 to make it simpler, but whatever. All you can get from any given comparison is only 1 match point. Every deal is equally important. The same is not true in impairs. In impairs, your results are input against all the other pairs holding your cards. In a quality field, most deals are relatively flat and do not count for much. Every not once in a while, a deal comes up, typically in the slam range, in which there are many possible results, each of which yield vastly different imp scores. It is as if we were playing match points, and all of a sudden the director announces, for this board only, top will be 300 instead of 12. What's your point? It is very much luck of the draw which pairs you will play against on these key deals. And if you happen to play a top partnership on a difficult slam deal and they do the right thing there, if they do the right thing, there is nothing you can do. You just have to accept your loss. The same can happen at match points, but at that form of scoring, every deal is equally important. Not so at impairs. Being in the right table at the right time becomes very important. Bob's my uncle. What can we do? Uh, as I see, there is only one solution. Make all of the boards equally important. We can either remove the exciting deals from the event or remove the boring deals. The computer program that makes the hand records can be set to do either. I suggest that we program the computer to make as many slam and wide distributional hands as possible. The players will have more fun that way. Yeah, I hate that. You've convinced me. Next year's hands will be as exciting as possible. We may have to throw in the occasional flat board so that the players do not work out what we have done. I don't think it would go over too well if the players found out what we were doing. So let's keep this conversation to ourselves. Thanks for the advice. I hope you can find a better partner for next year's event. Approximately 1 year later, March '94, Jeff Hampson, Canada's brightest young star, had this conversation with Irving Litvak. There we go. Congratulations on another superbly run event, Irving. If it wasn't for the pathetic play of my partner, Fred Gittelman, I would have thoroughly enjoyed myself. I have never seen so many exciting deals. Um, I'm glad you enjoyed the event, Jeff. Don't be too depressed by the results. You did manage to beat all of the South American pairs. I didn't notice the deals being any more exciting than usual. You mean to tell me that you played in the event and you didn't notice how many unusual distributional hands there were? Litvak starting to get uptight? Nope. Alright, I guess I have to spell it out to you. Let's start with a hand with 10 solid spades. Now that you mention it, I did hold that hand. It went too hard weak on my left to no trump by Roy Hughes. The auction started the same way at our table. Luckily, Fred and I have methods there. I was able to bid 4 heart as a transfer to spades, followed by 4 no trump, throw 1 kicker Blackwood. When Fred showed 2 aces, I bid 7 no trump, trusting him to be able to find the 13th trick. I am sure the bidding made Fred nervous, but he quickly claimed to see how that hand is. Roy and I reached the same contract, although through a delicate cue bidding auction, I was surprised to see that we won a sizable number of M's. And what seemed like a flat board. I've never been dealt a 10 card suit except on your Gully games. Fred tells me that the odds of being dealt a 10 card suit are more than 60,000 to 1. If this was the only unusual hand, I might have dismissed this occurrence as a coincidence. I guess you didn't notice but there were also a large number of 8 card suits being dealt. Fred's computer says that the odds of being dealt an 8 card suit are about 200 to 1. In the 116 hands that we played, Fred and I were dealt 5 8 card suits. In 3 cases, the suit was a club suit that was either completely or almost completely solid. Litvak, how many 9 card suits were you dealt? None, and I think you are avoiding the issue. I thought that this hand was an interesting bidding problem. Nobody was vulnerable, and your left-hand opponent opens 1 diamond. Partner bids 2 diamonds, Michaels, and your right-hand opponent leads to 5 diamonds. What do you bid? I don't know, 5 spades? 6 clubs, yeah. I think 8 card suits are made to be trump. I would bid 6 clubs. Suppose you pass and your partner reopens with 5 hearts, presumably showing a huge hand with longer hearts than spades. What now? How can I not bid a slam? Well, your partner didn't promise a diamond void, but you certainly have a very good hand considering your partner bid all the way to the 5 level himself. Suppose you bid 6 spades, it goes pass double. Left-hand opponent leads a club, the double was Leitner and dummy tables. Yes, 7 clubs is laid down, but now you must make 6 spades. Right-hand opponent rough the clubs and returns a diamond, putting you in dummy. To make the hand, you have to cash the ace of hearts and ruff a heart, and then lead and pass the jack of spades. Right, and the opponent started with 2-3-8-0 distribution. Yes, another 8 card suit with a double to 10. Fred be the only um, 5 spades over 5 hearts, so he wasn't put to the test in slam. The way things were going for us, I doubt he would have gotten it right. Speaking of 6-5 hands, the odds of being dealt one are about 71 to 1. Fred and I had no less than 12 6-5 hands in 116 boards that we played, rather against the odds, wouldn't you say? Litvak trying to avoid the question. I heard that you bid and made 7 on one of those, the other 6-5 hands. Fred actually did well on that. Fred played 7 hearts from the short side after a week no trump opening in a transfer auction. A spade was led to the ace, and Fred cashed 2 rounds of trump. Right hand opponent began with 3 trumps, and Fred was at the crossroads. He could either draw the last trump and rely on the club finesse, or try to rough out the queen. What would you do? I would think about it for a long time. That goes without saying. Fred thought about it for a long time as well. Eventually he opted to finessing clubs. This was necessary as left-hand opponent had 4 clubs to the queen. Computer analysis later suggested that Fred's line was superior by about 6%. Litvak still trying to avoid the issue. What happened to you with this hand? 6-5 with ace king queen, ace king queen. Fred held that hand. He opened 1 club as his style. Max Strauss thought it was right to open 2 clubs, but Hammond also opened 1 club. It went 1 spade pass back to him. Having never had this sort of problem before, Fred made up what he thought was a simple solution. Bid what you think you can make. I like it. He bid 4 hearts, trying to convey the message that he could make either 4 hearts or 5 clubs in his own hand. I did not quite get the message as I passed with this hand. Yeah, this just, is it grand, let's call it? Yeah, well, it's a small slam for sure. 6 club requires only a 3-2 club break, and 6 spades is even, 6 hearts is even better. In 6 hearts you can sometimes succeed when clubs are 4-1 by drawing 2 rounds of trump and starting clubs. If the player with a singleton club has only 2 hearts, he can score a club ruff in the dummy. Fortunately for us, left-hand opponent had a singleton club and 3 hearts, so slam had no play. Hammond suggested that you should reopen by bidding 2 spades and then bid 4 hearts at your next opportunity. No. Litvak. One of our better results happened on a 6-5 hand. South opened 2 clubs on his 6-5, showing clubs in a major. What? Maybe it's some kind of canopy system or so? So, West overcalled 2 spades. North Q bid 3 spades. South with several spade stoppers, bid for 3 on trump. Royal had the ace of hearts, and we took this first 6 tricks. North, South are called for 6 clubs, of course. Hanson, of course. Unfortunately, we got 7 clubs. Fred opened 1 spade, the South, and Gord Chapman West overcalled 2 hearts. I was North and made a negative double. John Sabino East now made the excellent bid of 5 hearts. Fred bid 6 clubs, and I raised him to 7. You didn't give him much slack. True, but we were out of the event by this point. The one and only way we could make any money from the event would be to win a session award. This was one of the first boards of the last session, and I adjusted, although bidding 7 might be a bit of a stretch. We really needed to create some action if we were gonna win the session. Yeah, it's fair. Fred roughed the opening heart lead first hurdle. I thought for some time. He didn't look very happy. Eventually he played a diamond to the jack, which held. At this point Fred sat up in his chair. This was just the kind of break we needed, and it seemed like he thought he was making the hand. Unfortunately, the 5-1 spade break and 4-2 diamond break combined to make the hand unmanageable. 7 clubs had to go one down. At least we won some imps due to the result at your table. Litva, that's a very sad story. I hope you can find a better partner for next year's event. that that shouldn't be too difficult. I hope you can find a more normal set of hand records. Litvak, I see what I can do. These conversations never actually happened. The odds that I quoted are real, and the above deals, plus many more unusual ones, were played in this year's Canadian Invitational Pairs. I strongly believe that computer-generated hands conform to the expected statistical distribution. The events that I have described are either a statistical anomaly or the results are of a programming error. I'm not complaining. I thoroughly enjoyed the deals in the event. Thanks for Irving Litvak for putting together an excellent tournament, to Jeff Hampson for being a patient partner most of the time, and to John Gowdy for being John Gowdy. Yeah, I actually completely hate it when I realize, or I at least when I start to suspect that the hands were somehow meddled with. I played in some of these themed tournaments, and it's just super annoying. It's not what bridge should be about. So yeah, let's say if you had a themed tournament in which all the suits broke 4-1, like how would you like that? It would make no sense at all, right? You have your declare play, and it's based on ideas such as like a 3-2 break is 68%, and then you can't rely on it, right? So then it's just random. It's just complete garbage. You might as well just play, I don't know, just throw the dice, and whoever gets the larger number wins. Yeah, I really hate it, and that they really had this in a Canadian Invitational Pairs. This sounds like a very serious event, but it was a great write-up by Fred. Okay, so I think, yeah, I can't go through this. I mean, really, no offense. This was whenever it was written. I know 2004. Maybe it was a good idea, but yeah, yeah, he wanted to bid. Mm, so he wanted to have like this 2 clubs or so show a real suit, but people actually stopped doing this a while ago. Anyway, and yeah, there's some other ones. I think this virtual machine is also really funny, but Fred is, to me, is the he's my favorite bridge writer, and this definitely brought up some memories for me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, see you tomorrow. I mean, this is actually December 30th for me, so just like 2 days before they shut down this version. But I will try to try to find something else to do. See you around.